What's up guys, it's Eric from Rare Candy and welcome back to another entry into our testing ground series where we take a look at some new cards that a new set gives us and we build some quick deck ideas around them just to start testing with. So what we have on the left is yours truly is actually going to be playing Regibox, and then on the right Marcus is going to be playing Buzzwole GX Garbodor. So definitely should be an interesting little matchup here. Buzzwole GX, very hyped card from the set. So Marcus, I'm sure will be happy to be trying that out. And then on the left, like I said, I am playing the new Regibox deck. It's kind of comprised of the different Regis that are from Crimson Invasion that kind of work together. And I do want to apologize too. I know typically I actually like to pride ourselves on the fact that we get out, early deck profiles and stuff like that before a set comes out. But we were kind of backed up with Shining Legends content, and I was away for about a week for work, so I do apologize for being a little behind getting this Crimson Invasion content out here. Anyways, going on to the game that we have here, Marcus does have, looks like a Buzzwole GX in the active spot with a Choice Band and a Fighting Energy, and looks like a Trubbish on the bench as well. So, and one thing I do want to point out here is in these testing rounds videos, a lot of times this is maybe our first or second times ever playing with the decks, so we're actually still learning as we are recording these videos for you guys, so there might be some little misplays here or there, just something to keep in mind as we're watching this video. So here Marcus is going to go for an Ultra Ball, discarding a Choice Band and a Lele, grabbing a Regirock EX. So Regirock EX has an ability that makes your fighting Pokemon do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. And here Marcus is just going to end both of us afterwards. So the Choice Band, not too good against this Registeel, but luckily that Regirock will increase its damage, since Choice Band only works on EXs and GXs. So Marcus actually does have a decent opening so far. He has the Trubbish, has an attacker online. Okay, I see a strong energy in hand. Can't attach that this turn, but definitely will want to get that down for next turn. And here he's just going to pass. Okay, so my opening hand actually looks pretty decent from what I can tell. Have an Ultra Ball, have a couple Metal Energies. So here I'm just trying to think, what do I want to go for? I definitely want to play this Ultra Ball. That way I can get Metal Energy into the discard pile, since Registeel has an attack that's basically just like the Oblivion Wing Yveltal, does 30 damage for 1 Metal Energy, and lets you attach a Metal Energy from your discard to one of your Pokemon. So, or bench Pokemon I should say. And actually I believe Registeel is any basic energy for that matter, but we only play Metal Energy in this deck. So here I'm going to go for the Mew from Fates Collide. Here I'm going to attach Floatstone, attach to Mew, and then play N. So definitely a very strong opening so far. Buzzwole GX is actually weak to Psychic, so I can actually use Registeel's attack with Mew to deal double damage. And since I have that Choice Band on there, I can actually do 120 for just a single Metal Energy. So if you guys are unfamiliar with Mew, from Fates Collide, has this ability in Memories of Dawn, lets you copy the attacks of any of your basic Pokemon in play, but you do need the necessary energy to use the attacks. So here I'm just going to use Registeel's attack to do 120, and then attach a Metal Energy from my discard pile to the Registeel. So even though Mew is definitely likely to go down this turn, all Marcus needs is a strong energy. Going for the 120 for just one energy is just too powerful to pass up. So I do have a Registeel in hand, or I'm sorry, a Regice in hand. I think in hindsight I probably should have benched that, just in case this Mew gets knocked out and I get end or something like that. I kind of wish I would have a Pokemon to put on the bench. Also have that Stardust Jirachi, but again, that's going to be a card that I really want to kind of catch Marcus off guard with. I don't really want sitting on the bench, especially because it has such low HP. So if you guys are kind of confused by the Regi deck that I'm playing on the left, it's kind of like a toolbox deck. It features all of the new Regis from Crimson Invasion, plus a couple of other techs for certain matchups, like we have the Mew here, we have the Stardust Jirachi in there. So that's kind of what we're going for with this deck. And here Marcus ended me into an absolutely terrible hand. I don't believe I have a supporter to even work with. So we'll have to see what I top deck. But let's see what else Marcus can manage to do this turn. Okay, he has a Field Blower. He could potentially use that to get rid of my tool cards that I have in play. So let's see what he's going to opt to do here. He has another Buzzwole in play. Oh, so he has a Choice Band to put down on Garbodor. It's probably not what he wants to do, but he definitely wants to shut off that ability that Mew has if he does not have a strong energy to work with. Little does Marcus know, I actually do have a Field Blower to get rid of that, in case he does not get rid of this Mew. So if he whiffs the knockout on this Mew, that would actually be a really big here. So it looks like he's very conflicted. I'm sure this is not what he wants to see, but here he's just going to have to use Jet Punch, Buzzwole's first attack. It does 30 to the active, and then 30 to a bench Pokemon as well. And here it looks like we did forget the damage from... oh no, we didn't forget the damage. Garbodor did shut off Regirock. Here I'm going to use my own Field Blower to get rid of that Choice Band. That way we can take a knockout on this Buzzwole GX this turn. And here, what do? Looks like I have a Ninja Boy in hand. I have the Stardust Jirachi. I'm not sure really what I want in play. I could do the Stardust Jirachi and then Ninja Boy into maybe like a Cobalion. I do play that in this deck as well. That's an option. But I feel like Jirachi's just really good, so I might just opt to hang on to it. Just because if Marcus does get down a strong energy, I will be able to discard that with Jirachi. So what's Marcus going to do here? It looks like he's eyeing down an Ultra Ball potentially. He's going to get rid of a Garbodor and a Pokemon Fan Club. So let's see what he's going to opt to go for. Looks like another Buzzwole GX. That seems just fine to me. Or if he has a way to get an N, I think that would also be a decent play potentially. Here he's going to Field Blower both of my tools, which is kind of annoying because I kind of wanted the Float Stone on the Registeel since it has a big retreat cost. But it looks like Marcus is just going to opt to Sycamore here instead of trying to dig for an N. Maybe he wants to save them, you know, maybe when I get even lower on prize cards potentially. Okay, so let's see here. Marcus is going to use Jet Punch, taking a knockout on that Mew. I'm sure he's happy to see that. And the bench damage is going to put Registeel up to 60 damage. That is not looking good for me. I kind of wish Marcus would have gotten down a strong energy. That way we could have actually used the Stardust Jirachi to take care of that. Well, what do we do here? So I think what I could do is actually Ninja Boy into either a Cobalion or another Registeel. I think either of those is perfectly fine. I would definitely prefer an actual draw supporter just to get down multiple bench Pokemon. Here looks like I'm going to use Max Elixir, and we do whiff it, unfortunately. Would have liked to get an extra energy in play, but it's not the end of the world. We can still accelerate energy out of our discard pile with this Registeel as well. Alright, we do have another Max Elixir in hand as well, so we could play that. Okay, and that time, that one did work. So at the very least, we'll thin an extra card out of our deck to maybe increase our odds of actually hitting a draw supporter in the next turn or two. That would actually be really big for us. Okay, and could leave the Jirachi in play. You know, one option is to leave it in play, and if you know, Marcus gets down a strong energy next turn, we could always just retreat into the Jirachi and use Stardust. I don't have a draw supporter in hand, so I think what I might do is just hang on to the Ninja Boy and potentially use it next turn. And here, unfortunately, I did have to attach another energy to this Jirachi, so I don't know, maybe I should have Ninja Boy'd into another Registeel. I think, you know, maybe that would have been the safer play. I think I'm just trying to get a little too cute with my plays here. You know, I'm just really paranoid. Marcus is going to start attaching strong energies. And so, let's see. Yeah, I think maybe in hindsight, I should have just Ninja Boy'd into another Registeel or a Cobalion. Actually, probably Registeel Cobalion will be later, or better in the late game, I should say. So here, it looks like he is going to go for another Jet Punch. And here I top deck an N, but now I'm in kind of an interesting situation. I could play the N, or I can Ninja Boy this Jirachi, since I did not last turn. So I think maybe that might be the way to go, just because this Registeel is going to go down this turn, and if we N, you know, I'm only going to get a fresh hand of 4, so I might not even draw another basic. So I really just can't afford for that to happen. Okay, here it looks like I am eyeing down another Registeel. I think that is going to be the way to go here. So we'll do that. And let's see where we're going to go from here. Now we are starting to soften up this Buzzwole GX, so potentially maybe next turn we could finish knocking it out with like the benched Registeel once we have it fully powered up. So what to do here? I do have an energy. I can attach for turn to this Registeel, but then I just have to accelerate, I think, another energy out of the discard pile to it. So I would have 4 energy on a Registeel. I don't know how much I like that. Oh, okay, I guess I don't have any more in the discard pile. So then that's okay, I think. So what's Marcus going to do this turn? Let's see, with that Fighting Fury Belt, Buzzwole has a total of 230. Okay, he has Acerola, so my math on how much hit points he has left doesn't even really matter there. So definitely a good play from Marcus, denying me that knockout. And being able to reuse that Fury Belt on this fresh Buzzwole, definitely very nice as well. He's going to do Jet Punch, taking a knockout there. And definitely not in a good spot here. I think I'm going to have to end. Could have put the Float Stone on the Registeel, but I think I definitely want to attack with it this turn anyway, so I don't really want to waste the Float Stone. I definitely need another attacker. That's going to be the big thing here. Just because if Marcus gets 1 energy, he will be able to take a knockout on this Registeel with either Buzzwole's second attack or his GX move as well. Okay, and luckily I do hit a Regice at the very least, so I will have that option. Here I'm going to attach a counter energy as well. That's going to be a new energy from Crimson Invasion. If you are behind on prizes, it gets activated and provides 2 of any color energy as opposed to the 1 colorless it provides by default. And here we're just checking some translations just to make sure Registeel, you know, we do its attack correctly, because I believe its second attack does 90 and you heal 30 if you have Regice or Regirock in play, and I believe it's Regirock because I did not actually heal the 30 there. So even if Regice goes down, 1 energy attachment will allow us to do 70 with this Regice, if need be. Oh, and here it looks like Marcus almost got rid of a Float Zone, but he opted to attach it here. So anyways, let's see what he's actually going to do. So it doesn't look like I mean, he has a pretty big hand, but I really don't know what else he really needs this turn. I guess maybe just an energy attachment. That's all he really needs, and he can take a knockout on this Registeel. So let's see what he's going to decide to do. I don't know if he has an energy. I mean, he's Sycamored for 7, so I would imagine he hit one. I did see a Zygarde EX in his hand, but beyond that, I didn't get a good look at anything else. Okay, so he does have the fighting energy, and so he could do 160 to take a knockout, but then this Buzzwole can't attack on the next turn, or he could opt to use his GX move. It would be a knockout, and he'd be free to use his regular like big attack on the next turn. So I think that's a good play. He's going to use his GX move. It sucks that he's using it on a 1 prize attacker, but at least he'll be able to use his other move next turn. So here I'm going to Ultra Ball. Unfortunately, since Marcus has the Float Stone on the Garbodor, I can't go for a Lele. So unfortunately, I think I just have to go for a Cobalion here. I think that's the safest target. If I top deck an energy, I can always make use of Quick Guard if need be. But definitely not a position I want to be in. So just haven't played many actual draw supporters this turn. So right now, not in the best spot. So here I think Marcus is in a good shape. If he takes a knockout on this Cobalion, that would actually be pretty scary. So if I'm Marcus, I'm thinking I want Guzma. Let's pick off this Cobalion. That's definitely the threat here. I'm not sure what he has in hand. I did see an N. I saw Zygarde EX. He has Garbodor in place, so he won't have access to a Lele for a Guzma. So let's see what he's going to opt to go with here. I think I actually may have seen a Guzma in hand. So if that is the case, that's definitely what I would be going for if I'm Marcus here. Okay, so let's see what he's going to decide to do. He's going to play Professor Sycamore, just dumping his whole hand. Okay, maybe he didn't have Guzma in hand then. It looked like he had another Sycamore in there instead. I think that's what I thought was a Guzma. We're just going to get down a strong energy onto his bench Buzzwole GX, just starting to power up a new attacker. And so, yeah, again, if I'm Marcus, I think I'm just going to use Buzzwole's second attack to do 160. Much like Volcanion EX, it won't be able to use the attack on the next turn, but I think he's still in a decent spot. He definitely just has to keep putting on pressure. And what a top deck. Top deck a counter energy. And now I can actually use Revenge Blast if I want to. So it does 30 plus 30 more for every prize card Marcus has taken. So he's taken 4 prizes, so I'm doing 150 plus the 90 that's already on this Buzzwole to take a knockout. So what an absolutely crazy top deck here. And I'm somehow still in this game. So let's see if I can make something happen. I really just need to top deck a supporter or something else just to stay in this game, because I don't think this one Cobalion will go the distance. I'm only hitting for, what is that, 150 right now. If I do have a Choice Band and a Guzma, that would be good. But here I'm going to Max Elixir, getting down energy on this Regigigas. Regigigas is actually kind of okay at this point in the game because Garbodor does shut off its ability. Normally, Regigigas can't attack unless you have all of the other Regis in play, so Garbodor actually helping us out with that. And I'm going to Sycamore. So I drew into a bunch of energy, so I'm not sure if this Max Elixir will work, and unfortunately it does fail, so I think I drew into the bulk of the energy that was left in my deck there. So that's a little bit unfortunate. I can still attach a Metal Energy for turn. So I'm going to do that, and so I have some options. I can use Revenge Blast and do 150, but unfortunately that does not win me the game. I think what I would prefer to do is actually maybe use Quick Guard, because I really need to power up this Regigigas. If this Cobalion goes down, next turn I still can't attack with Regigigas, and it's weak to fighting, so I think I have to Quick Guard here, which if you guys are not familiar with it, it prevents all effects of attacks including damage done to Cobalion by your opponent's basic Pokemon on their next turn, but you can't use Quick Guard on the next turn. So here, yeah, Marcus has a Guzma in hand. He has an energy attachment, so he could take out this Regigigas. If he does do that, I'm actually kind of okay with that, because then we'll be doing 180 damage with this Cobalion. So we'll have to see what he decides to do. If he does do that, I think we actually might have a chance of winning, because I could just Sycamore and potentially hit a Choice Band to finish taking a knockout on Buzzwole. So I'm actually really hoping that is the route Marcus is going to decide to go. So here he's going to use Guzma. He's going to retreat. And so what's Marcus going to do here? I think if I'm in Marcus's shoes, I think the play is actually use Jet Punch, because you'll actually do a crazy amount of damage to this Regigigas, and you'll also do damage to Cobalion. Since Guzma was played and Cobalion has left the active spot, it resets any effects of attack, so that means Cobalion can actually be damaged. And if that's the case, he'll have basically a double knockout set up to win the game next turn if I can't retreat this Regigigas. So it looks like Marcus is thinking kind of hard about this. He's probably trying to think, you know, do I want to knock out this Regigigas, or do I want to just kind of ping away at it? And it looks like Marcus is going for a Jet Punch. I definitely think that is the best way to go here. So now just one Jet Punch will knock out both of these guys and kind of seal up the game there. If I had a choice band, I could actually just outright win, since Regirock only has 180 hit points. Right now we're hitting for 150 with Cobalion, so unfortunately, you know, I'm skeptical if I can win the game. So what I might do is I can actually Guzma up Zygarde EX, and if I can strand Zygarde in the active spot, then I think I'll actually win game 1 here. So that's what I'm thinking about. So yeah, I'm going to do that. It gets Regigigas out of the active spot. And here, another thing I could potentially do is just go for another Quick Guard. That's an option as well. Oh, but here Marcus top decks a Float Stone, and he has an Ace Roll in hand, so and he has Guzma, so he actually would have won basically no matter what that turn. So Marcus is going to take game 1 in this series, and here Choice Band was my next card. A little bit frustrating, but definitely a close game, makes for a fun game to watch at the very least. So going into the next game, hopefully I can just have more supporters in the early game just to get set up better, because normally this deck operates with a full bench, and you can see I only had like 2 Pokemon in play at a time on average, which is definitely a little unorthodox. So hopefully I can set up just a little bit better. And since this is best 2 out of 3, usually the loser does get to decide who goes first. So you know, no doubt I'm going to choose to go first here. That way I can start getting set up a little bit quicker than Marcus will. So we'll have to see how this game pans out. You know, Registeel I think is definitely the best early game attacker for this deck. Mew is also just super good, and it looks like I'm actually going to open with it and a Registeel this turn. So that is definitely going to bode very well for me. Okay, so Marcus is going to open with a Lele. I am happy to see that. Here I have the Registeel on the bench, and what else am I going to do here? I have Counter Energy. Have a Sycamore in hand, and N. Here I'm just going to opt to N, and actually I think maybe one thing I should have done last turn is, well, I was going to say maybe I could have attached the Counter Energy to Registeel, just because I'm not going to attack this turn either way, so I don't think it really hurts being on the Registeel, but I think maybe I'm just trying to save them for things like Cobalion in the late game, also Regigigas as well. So I'm going to retreat into this Registeel, and that might seem a little odd since Mew is kind of important against Buzzwole, but I'm just kind of scared of Marcus having something like a Float Stone, Buzzwole, Strong Energy combo to knock out the active Mew. So I definitely want to save it. Definitely a very, very good card in this matchup. So let's see what Marcus has to work with. So he has a Regirock. So he has an Ultra Ball. Let's see what he's going to opt to go for. He's going to discard an Acerola and an N, it looks like. Most likely, we're going to see a Buzzwole GX hit the field. We could also see potentially a Zygarde, but here he's going to go for the Buzzwole. Basically saying, hey, I ain't afraid of that Mew. It's only got 50 hit points. I'm going to knock that thing out at some point. So let's see what else he has. So he has the Strong Energy and the Sycamore, so I'm very happy I did actually retreat this Mew here. I know Marcus does play a high Float Stone count, so more than likely... Okay, and he actually did draw into it as well, so yeah. So definitely, I think I did the responsible thing, retreating the Mew. But here Marcus is going to retreat into this Buzzwole. And here he's going to do, I believe, what is that, 50, 60, 70 damage to the active Registeel because of Fighting Fury Belt, Strong Energy, and Regirock, and 30 to the benched Mew. So here I'm going to switch into Mew. I have the Metal Energy, have the Choice Band, and here what I'm kind of thinking is, do I want to attach it for turn and get the guaranteed 120, or do I want to discard it with Sycamore and try to draw into another Metal Energy. So here I'm very, very conflicted. I think I have decent odds of hitting another Metal Energy, but I think I'm just going to Sycamore. I think it's too big to whiff this 120 here. So unfortunately I would have drawn into the Metal Energy, but at the very least, like I said, at least we are getting a guaranteed 120 damage off this turn. And so I also have a Regice in play as well. Or in hand as well. Looks like I'm going to opt to save that for the moment. Don't want to clog up my bench space just yet. Regice definitely is mainly an important card for whenever we're trying to set up a Regigigas, just because you need all of the Regis in play. But other than that, not too much of a relevant card in this matchup. But here Marcus actually does a really nice play. He's taking out the Registeel and the Mew all in one attack. So definitely he is in a good spot at this point, it looks like. And what else does he have? I see a Guzma in my hand. I have a Lele. I have another Regirock, so I'm just curious what I really want to go for at this point. I have kind of an awkward board state. I don't have really a way to retreat. I do have the Guzma, but at the same time I can't really attack with anything that I have. So I do have a Lele. I could go for... I could actually Lele for Bridget. I think that's an option as well to start setting up some more attackers. So just definitely very conflicted. I think that actually might be the play that's worth going for. That or an N. One or the other. I think either one of those is a decent play here. It looks like I am going to opt for the Bridget. Probably grab maybe a Registeel, a Cobalion, and a Regigigas. I think all of those are decent options. Jirachi is also an option as well. But I think I actually may have prized it this game if I remember correctly. So yeah, gonna get the Regigigas in play as well. So I have all of the Regis in play, so if I do manage to power up a Regigigas, we'll be able to start attacking with it to do 160 or 190 if we have a choice band on it. And here, just going to attach a Metal Energy to Registeel and probably just pass after that. So here Mark draws another Strong Energy. So the only bad thing is, you know, he's in a decent spot. He's ahead on prizes. But this Buzzwole GX is definitely in danger of going down on the next turn or so. So he really just needs another attacker. He does have a Zygarde in hand. You know, at worst, I think he needs to bench that and start powering that up if he does not have access to another Buzzwole. Because if he, you know, just keeps committing energy to this guy and it goes down, he's not going to have anything else to really work with. So here he's going to go for a Guzma. And it looks like Marcus is getting a little greedy here, so he's going to use Buzzwole GX, probably just use Jet Punch. Its base damage output is 30, but with strong energies and Fury Belt and all that stuff, he's doing 90. But I'm actually maybe okay with this, since he basically helped my Regirock retreat for free. So I'm going to attach Counter Energy, and I'm going to use Field Blower, getting rid of the Fury Belt and the Float Stone. So what I can actually do now is attack for 100, knocking out this Buzzwole. And I'm saying 100 because Regirock, its ability, makes your Registeels do 10 more damage to the active. So I'm starting to actually kind of turn this series around. Got a Max Elixir onto the Regigigas on the bench. And also if we use Registeel's second attack, we get to heal 30 if we have, I believe, if it's Regirock in play. I forget, there's a lot of interactions with all these Regis to keep track of, but I believe that is correct. So here, yeah, it looks like I'm going to use Registeel's second attack and going to heal 30 as well. So definitely starting to get back into the game here. Marcus is going to use Rescue Stretcher, getting himself out a Buzzwole. And what else is he going to do? It looks like just a pass, so not too much going on Marcus's side of the field this game. You know, I do have a Counter Energy in hand I could attach somewhere, so I might even just attach that to Regigigas in preparation of something getting knocked out at some point. So looks like I have Stardust Jirachi in hand. I have a bunch of cards to work with, but here what I think I'm going to do is, just start putting on some pressure. I don't really want to discard anything from my hand, so I think I'm just going to use Registeel's first attack for a turn or so, save what I have in hand, and just start getting some energy on the board here. So here I have a counter energy and 2 metals on Regigigas, so if this Registeel goes down, we will be able to just start attacking. So here I'm going to attach, looks like a metal energy to Cobalion, just starting to set up a Revenge Blast at some point as well. And yet again, I'm not sure if I even want to discard this hand. I have a lot of cards in there I kind of want to save, so I think I'm just going to use Registeel's first attack yet again, doing 60 more damage thanks to that choice band, and getting an energy down on Lele. Cobalion and Regigigas are decent attackers, but more so in the late game when you're behind on prizes. So that's just because you can activate things like counter energy, and Revenge Blast will do higher amounts of damage. So here it looks like I'm going to attach a Float Stone just in case we get hit with an N or something like that after we knock out this Lele. So I could play Ultra Ball, thin out some cards from my hand as well, but honestly I might just keep it just because if I draw into an Ultra Ball after an N, I'm not too worried about that. I'm kind of okay with that because if Marks were to end us and take a knockout, I could always just Ultra Ball for a Lele or something like that. Here I'm going to use Sycamore, getting rid of all these cards in my hand. Can always use Rescue Stretcher to get them back as well. I basically just don't want to miss energy attachments with this deck. And so here it looks like I'm going to attach probably Melt Energy of Lele. That seems good. Like I said, Cobalion's good in the late game. Right now I believe we're only hitting for 90 with it, so Lele can definitely hit for a lot more here. And so here what I can do is I can just use Registeel to take a knockout, or I could Ultra Ball, so I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to get rid of another Ultra Ball and a Metal Energy, that way we can get one out of the discard pile. So here I'm going to grab a Regice out of the deck just to thin it a little bit. And here we can take a knockout and attach that Metal Energy, probably to Cobalion. I think that's a safe spot. Yeah, so that seems pretty decent to me. And then even though Marcus can take a knockout here, I'm not too worried about it. So let's... Oh, and I forgot to take my prizes, so definitely very, very important. End up drawing a Guzma off the prizes, that is definitely good as well. So I'm sure Marcus is going to knock out this, this Registeel. So what do we promote here? Just probably something with a Float Stone for the moment. And so I think we're just going to have to attack with a Lele this turn, if I had to guess. Just because Cobalion's only hitting for I think 120 right now. Well, I don't know if we do promote. Yeah, because I think we can attack with Lele just because if Marcus did use Buzzwole's second attack next turn, it can't even attack again. So I think we're actually safe to attack with this Lele. So I'm also going to attach an energy to this Regigigas as well. Just in case if Marcus does take a knockout on this Lele, Regigigas will be activated thanks to that counter energy, and we can respond with a knockout. So what is Marcus going to do here? And here, I think we're... Huh. Okay. Maybe Marcus used his GX move. Okay, I'm just really confused how that worked out. So Marcus didn't flip over his GX counter the turn before last, so I assumed he used Buzzwole's second attack, but I guess he actually did use the GX move. That's my best guess. And then used Buzzwole's second attack on his last turn there. I don't know. But either way, I was able to just bring up Cobalion and finish knocking out the Buzzwole for the game. So you can see the Regi deck worked a lot more as it's supposed to that game. You know, the first game, like I said, I only got out like 1 or 2 Pokemon at a time on average, so that game definitely worked a lot better. We got to show off counter energies and things like that a little bit more too. Okay, so I have a Cobalion and a Regirock to start with. I think I'm going to opt to start with Regirock. We play a high Floatstone switching card count anyway, so I'm not too worried about it being in the active spot. Smarks looks like he has a Buzzwole and a Strong Energy. And looks like he's going for an Ultra Ball here, so most likely we will see a Fan Club or a Bridget. That seems probably best here, since Marcus can't attack or do much of anything else otherwise, so I think that's definitely the play for him. So he's going to get rid of a Sycamore and a Guzma here. Look like he's going for a Regirock. That's interesting. Huh, I'm not sure if I like that, just because it looked like he went straight for the Regirock. Like, I don't think it's one of the situations where Bridget and Fan Club were both prized, so I think that actually might be a bit of a misplay here. And here he's just going to end. So yeah, I'm not sure if I like that much. If he'd gone for the Lele to grab a Fan Club or a Bridget, I think that would have been much better here. So that might be one of those slight misplays I was mentioning at the beginning of this video. So, and Marcus actually gave me a pretty decent hand. Let's see, have Stardust Jirachi, that's actually really big. And here I actually have a crazy turn I could potentially have. If I get Mew out of the deck, I can actually use Stardust Jirachi's attack. But Mew is going to be prized. That would have actually been a really big here. I believe I have Choice Band as well, so I could have like retreated, attached a Choice Band to the Mew, used Stardust Jirachi's attack to do 80 damage, and discarding the Strong Energy, making the Mew immune on the next turn as well. But here I'm just going to grab the 2 Registeels and a Regice. That'll be fine, I guess. Okay, so I am going to at least still use the regular Stardust Jirachi, even though we don't have Mew to abuse its attack. Oh, I guess I didn't have Choice Band, but either way, I still think this is okay. You know, doing 10 damage and then discarding the Strong Energy seems like an okay first turn play. Just to slow Marcus down a little bit if possible. So let's see what he's going to opt to do here. He has Bridget in hand. He could go for that this turn, since he did not last turn. And so let's see what he's going to opt to do here. Okay, so he is going to Bridget this time. So probably see another Buzzwole, maybe a Trubbish. And from there, I don't know what else Marcus really wants. He could get a third Buzzwole or a second Trubbish. So he's actually going for Zygarde. And actually, I don't think we caught this, but he cannot actually search for Buzzwole and Zygarde. Zygarde is just an EX. Bridget only lets you get 1 EX or 3 non-EX basics. So this is definitely a little bit of an oversight on our part, so I do apologize for that, guys. But so we'll have to see if it even becomes relevant here, but and it looks like Marcus is basically foregoing the entire Garbodor strategy against this deck just because of Regigigas. It will make it easier for our Regigigas to attack him. So I'm guessing that's why. I might still consider going for it just to prevent Lele plays. But, you know, it's really not a crucial card in this matchup. So we're going to retreat the Jirachi. And we can actually just get that energy we discarded from retreating back onto the field with Registeel's first attack. So we're going to do 30 to this Buzzwole, softening it up, and then we're going to power up that Regigigas on the bench there as well. So let's see how Marcus is going to respond this turn. See an Ultra Ball in hand. I don't know what he really wants to go for. He could go for like a Lele for a Guzma, but he already has the Guzma in hand. So he's targeting down this Jirachi. If he gets a Fury Belt, he can actually... No, he'd still be a little short of taking a knockout. But here's going to do 40 to this Jirachi and then 30 to Registeel. I'm not sure if I like that, though, just because this Jirachi can very easily just retreat if need be. So, you know, if he's trying to stall against something, I think going for something like the Regice would have been a much better route to go. So here I'm just gonna retreat yet again, I think, and I'm actually like kind of okay with just retreating because again we can just keep getting the energy back out of the discard pile with Registeel. So here I have an Ultra Ball, just thinking, do I want to get rid of some stuff? You know, I have an N, so I could play that, but here it looks like I'm gonna opt to get rid of a Regice and a counter energy. Oh, and then I'm going to play the special charge, getting back the counter energy, and then using N. So I must be looking for something like a choice band or something like that. I think the big thing is I don't want to miss an energy attachment with this deck. So if we can get an energy attachment for turn and accelerate this metal we're about to discard all in the field, that'll be pretty decent. And wow, that hand is bad. We have like a hand of like 5 supporters there. But nevertheless, we can still get some extra energy in play with this Registeel, like I said, but I really didn't want to miss a manual energy attachment. But unfortunately, you know, it happens sometimes. So this Registeel is going to put this Buzzwole up to 90 damage, so it has 100 health left. Just have to hope Marcus does not ace roll it up at some point to, you know, negate all of our hard work that we put into it. So let's see what route he's going to go. Unfortunately, Jirachi will be able to be knocked out this turn. I'm not too happy about that, but we can always get back with Rescue Stretcher if we choose to. See Garbodor in hand. Here he's going to use our Field Blower, or use Field Blower to get rid of the Floatstone that I have in play there. Okay, looks like he's eyeing down another Floatstone attachment. Looks like he's kind of conceding, you know, really using Zygarde as his main attacker. So just wants a Floatstone on it, just to have a nice free retreater, I guess, throughout the game. Okay, so he does have a strong energy, and it's actually safe for him to attach that at this point since this Jirachi is getting knocked out. So my Registeel is going to go up to 70 damage, and let's see how I'm going to respond to that. Have another Floatstone in hand, so we can throw that down if need be. And what to do at this point? I have a whole handful of spores. I'm assuming I'm probably just going to end here. I think that's probably the best course of action. Don't want to Sycamore basically the entire hand away. So just going to end, refreshing both of our hands. Marcus is going to get 5 prizes since he, or I'm sorry, 5 cards since he has 5 prizes, and I'm going to get a fresh hand of 6. So I'm not sure really what I need this turn. I think a choice band would be nice, just so we can hit for, I believe it's actually 70 damage against this Buzzwole. I keep forgetting we have Regirock in play that will increase our damage output against Buzzwole. So again, just a lot of interactions between all these Regis. A little hard to keep track of with just Japanese proxies that we were using in this matchup. So it looks like I have a Max Look, so we're going to do that. And so yeah, we can attach that to Regigigas, and I think that's fine just because basically it's now just a counter energy away from coming online and attacking. And here Marcus is just preparing his damage. And so yeah, it looks like we're going to put it up to 130. So now it's just basically one more attack away from being knocked out if we get a choice band. So Marcus is going to get a Potown down, not too relevant in this matchup, but here he's going to use Field Blower, getting rid of another Floatstone. Kind of annoying. Every time we've had Floatstones in play, he has been very quick to get rid of them. So he's going to Sycamore away his hand, get a fresh hand of 7, so let's see what he's going to go for. Maybe looking for a strong energy. And actually, maybe if I'm Marcus there, I'm not sure what he has in deck, but I maybe would have considered going for Lele for an Acerola. I think that would have been a potential option as well. But here, now that he has the strong energy, he can actually take a knockout on this Registeel. So going for the more aggressive play as opposed to the more defensive one. And so not having the Floatstone in play is actually quite annoying at this point. So here I'm going to... Man, that is an awkward hand. I have 3 Guzmas. I'm going to get down a Registeel. Ultra away 2 Guzmas. Unfortunately, I'm just going to have to use Lele to grab an N here. Really can't afford to Sycamore away all 3 Guzmas that are in the deck. So just going to end here. If I get a Floatstone and a Counter Energy, we could get Regigigas up online, but honestly, we don't even need to. If we just get a Choice Band onto this active Registeel, we'll be able to take a knockout that way as well. And we do hit the Choice Band, and we have the Counter Energy for next turn as well, so we're in a pretty good spot here. Going to get down an attachment for turn on the other Registeel, and just take a knockout here against this Buzzwole GX. Okay, so now we're in a pretty good spot. I think Marcus has some other Pokemon on the field, but luckily he does not have like a super powered up Buzzwole at this point, so he's going to probably have to concede just to using Jet Punch this turn. So he's going to get down a Fighting Energy and then Ultra Ball, probably grabbing a Lele for a Sycamore if I just had to guess. So that seems pretty good on Marcus's part. Getting rid of Trubbish and the Choice Band, pretty good targets to Ultra Ball away, just because Choice Band not too relevant since all of the attackers in this deck other than Lele are going to be non-EXs and GXs, and Trubbish not too relevant either other than shutting off Mew's ability and Lele's ability. So let's see what else he's going to do. Just going to retreat and probably see a Jet Punch here. For I believe it's going to be 50 damage on this Registeel, since he has the Regirock and the Fighting Fury Belt in play. And okay, what do I want to do here? That's going to be the question. You know, unfortunately, it's weird to say, unfortunately, we are tied on prizes, so I can't actually activate Regigigas with a Counter Energy. So probably just going to see just a normal attack come out of Registeel. Probably just for 60 to soften up this Buzzwole. So I think that's fine. And that way, basically, even though he has Fighting Fury Belt, we should be able to knock it out with a Regigigas and then a Choice Band next turn. Actually, no, I think just a Regigigas, because we have the Regirock in play that bumped up our Registeel's damage by 10. So it's actually a pretty relevant number to hit for 70. So what is Marcus going to do? I see another Zygarde in hand. Beyond that, I can't really tell. If I'm him, I'm probably thinking about powering up another Buzzwole in case this one gets knocked out on the next turn, because my Registeel is going to go down, which is going to put Marcus ahead on prizes. So what's he going to do here? He's going to go for a Lele, and he's going to go for an Acerola. That is actually quite annoying, just because we had set up this Buzzwole so like properly for a Regigigas knockout. And I've been dying to actually knock Marcus out with the Regigigas, because if you guys saw our set review, he absolutely hated the card and was talking trash on it. So I was trying to make a point in this series to take a knockout at some point on a on anything with the Regigigas. So here Marcus is going to take a knockout on my Registeel, and that kind of puts me in an awkward situation now. If I had a Field Blower, could get rid of the Fighting Fury Belt. I would need Field Blower, Counter Energy, Choice Band. I'm not sure if I have all of that. I do have the Choice Band, at the very least. So yeah, let's go for it. I know I have another Field Blower still in the deck at this point, so we're going to go all in on Regigigas this turn, it looks like. Just double checking what all I have. So I draw a Sycamore. So it's going to be a pretty big turn. Going to get down the Registeel with the Counter Energy. Going to bench Mew. And here I'm going to Ultra Ball just a couple more cards. Going to get a Regirock out of the deck just to thin our deck out to increase our chances of drawing into a Field Blower here. So it's definitely a little bit of a risky play, but if we do get the knockout here, it's going to be a pretty big moment, I think. So here, just going to Sycamore, and do we get it? And we whiff the Field Blower, so that is not a good feeling whatsoever, I hate to say. So if we see like an Acerola play next turn, that would actually be like heartbreaking. So here I'm going to do Max Elixir, and going to get an energy down on this Mew. So even if Regigigas does go down, we will have this Mew, which is a good attacker against all these Buzzwoles. Alrighty, and do have a rescue stretcher. Could play that, but I might even save that. But here I'm just going to opt to play it. I forgot we have Cobalion in the discard, so we really want to get that out. So we'll grab Registeel and a Jirachi with it as well. So all three very good attackers in this matchup. But, you know, even though we whiffed the knockout, we're still going to soften up this Buzzwole GX really well here. So we'll do 190 to it, but this Fury Belt is just such a pain. So again, as long as Marcus does not like Acerola up this this Buzzwole, we'll be in an okay spot. But here, Regigigas attack also discards a Stadium card in play, so Marcus is going to just replace the Potown that I discarded. So he has a pretty massive hand there. What is he going to opt to do? Does have a strong energy. He is definitely going to have to start powering up a different attacker just because this Buzzwole is definitely going down next turn. If he has Guzma, one thing I might consider doing is actually Guzmaing up this Mew and taking a knockout on that. So actually it looks like he's committing to the active. And here, just going to take a knockout on the Regigigas. I'm not sure how much I like that, but I guess maybe he was afraid that Regigigas would just come up and knock out whatever other attacker he promoted, which is a valid concern, I suppose. So maybe he didn't have a way to respond. So that might have been his best option. I couldn't see what all was in his hand. But here, what are we going to do? We have Counter Energy, have Max Elixir. Okay, going to fail the Max Elixir. I don't think I have too much energy left in deck at this point either. So I'm just going to end both of us. So I could have played down the Counter Energy, but I kind of want to save that for Cobalion. I think I only have 2 Counter Energy left in the deck, so I want to increase my odds of drawing into that and Cobalion at the same time, or near the same time. Okay, so I draw back into the Counter Energy, but no Cobalion. So what am I going to do? I could attach Counter Energy to Regirock. It has a decent attack. Or I could attach it to Lele. I think that is also an option. Here, going to opt for the Registeel, it looks like. And just take a knockout with Registeel, I suppose. I guess that's fine. We can do Registeel's second attack to take a knockout and also heal 30 at the same time. So that is kind of relevant because if Marcus had like a strong energied, like, well, actually no, I'm not sure if he could have had a way to knock out this Registeel. I'm just trying to think. So he has strong energy on the benched Buzzwole. That'd be 50 damage plus 60 from. Okay, yeah. So now I see why I'm doing that. Okay, but it looks like I actually ended up going for the first attack, not the second attack. A little risky, but if Marcus does have a Fury Belt and strong energy, he can actually knock out this Registeel, so. And also knock out Mew as well, that's a very important note. So definitely a bit of a risky play, I think. But Marcus is going to opt to get back a Buzzwole with Rescue Stretcher and then play Acerola, but he can't play Acerola because none of his Pokemon are actually damaged. So that, okay, it looks like Marcus just has to pass after that, so it's not what he wants to see probably. And here, what am I going to do? That's the question. So I could put down Cobalion with a Counter Energy. I think that's fine. And I could play Lily this turn. I don't want to Sycamore just yet. Like, I want to hang on to this Choice Band for when I need it to take a knockout. Because I actually don't think we can knock out this Zygarde. Right now we're hitting for 150 with Cobalion, I think. But here I'm just going to attach it anyways. I think that's okay. I do play a high Choice Band count in this deck. So here I do have Field Blower to get rid of both Float Stones in play. So we're going to do 90, or I'm sorry, 100, and healing 30 off this Registeel. So Marcus can play the Acerola, but you know, I think I'm still in an okay spot. Because what Marcus is going to do now, he's going to go down to 1 prize, which means I can just retreat into Cobalion and take a knockout with Revenge Blast. So, or I can just use Guzma, bringing up Lele, taking a knockout that way as well. So Regibox is going to squeak out a win here and win this best 2 out of 3 series. Definitely Marcus probably felt a little bad about that after our set review. So if you guys have not seen our set review, I'll definitely have a link in the description somewhere if you want to check that out as well. But yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this early look at some Crimson Invasion decks. We will have deck profiles posted in the coming days as well, so definitely stay tuned for that. And also, if you're new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe because we're going to have plenty more Crimson Invasion coverage coming out over the next couple weeks. But as usual guys, feel free to like and subscribe, and a big shout out to all of our supporters over on patreon.com/rarecandytcg. If you can go over there and support our channel, it'd be greatly appreciated, or if you could pick up something at our online store at rarecandytcg.com. But with that, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you for the next one.